Yeah, hello, I'm David Blacker, farmer from Shipton in North Yorkshire. I'm currently hosting Strategic Farm North, based at a small village in Shipton, about 3 miles north of York, in the Vale of York itself. We've got a 200 hectare family farm, but also doing contracting and bits and pieces for other people. So there's about another 250 hectares on top of that. Farming on largely clay loam over clay land, so it's quite a heavy based soil type. Absolutely love a drought, absolutely hate it when it's wet, and that's kind of reflected in the yields through the years. So we've got 5 different fields across the farm and across the soil types in the project, and we've got a very good team from AHDB who are doing all the research behind the scenes.
Hi, my name's Bhogal. I'm a soil scientist at AHDB, and we're working with David Blacker and AHDB at the Strategic Farm North, where we're measuring and monitoring crop and soil performance through a series of on-farm trials. Now, one of the biggest issues for David is how he can improve soil health across the farm. He has very heavy clay soils on a lot of his fields, which are slowly permeable and poorly drained. So drainage, compaction, waterlogging, and a lack of earthworms are all key issues for David.
So one of the fields we've got in the strategic farm trials is a field I redrained about 3 years ago, and knowing strategic farm at that point was going to happen, we set the drainage up in different spacing widths of 10, 15 and 20 metre centres. We also left part of the field undrained, so with the intention of trying to work out a payback period of how long it takes to justify a brand new drainage system. So we're trying to tease that out in the yield data we're getting over the years, but we're also looking a bit more than that in looking at, we've now got some dip wells in the field that we're checking water levels to see how effective that drainage system is actually operating at.
So we're assessing the impact of these different drainage treatments, not only on crop performance, looking at winter beans in the first year, and last year looking at winter wheat, but we've also looked at crop rooting and soil nitrogen supply. So in both years of the drainage trial, we have seen a significant improvement in crop yield, whether that be winter beans in the first year and winter wheat last year, as a result of installing the new drains. So in 2024, winter wheat biomass, tiller number and grains per metre squared were all higher on the newly established drainage treatments. And this resulted in a yield increase of about 1.2 tonnes per hectare, over and above the yield that we saw on the no drainage treatment. We didn't see any difference in disease in the crop, with the whole field receiving the same crop protection programme.
AHDB carried out a root length density test on the plants in both areas of the field, and the root length density was twice as big at 10 centimetres in the drained part of the field than the undrained, so it's certainly having a beneficial effect on plants and rooting.
The drainage trial is continuing into 2025, and we've introduced a new treatment this year in the form of mole drainage. So moles have been established running perpendicular to the lateral drains, and we're looking at the performance of winter wheat with and without the moles and with and without the drainage.
For 2025 in the drainage field this year, it's planted with Oxford winter wheat. I've never grown that before, it's a new variety for me. It was planted very late for the soil type it is, for heavy clay soil. It was extremely wet quite early on in September, and we had to wait an awful long time for it to dry out in order to travel on it. So normally I wouldn't be drilling early November, but that's when that field went in and got established this time. Interestingly enough, the undrained part of the field at the time was still too wet to plant, and that had standing water on it, so that hasn't been drilled. So that will have a big impact on the yield map, obviously, with some areas being zero yielding. But that's kind of the point of the trial and why we're doing it.